So how did you feel when you arrived at the retreat or just before the retreat?
First person I met was Malte. And my feeling at this very moment was like, oh, that's him. I feel like I've known him for 10 years already. And this same feeling repeated with each of the guys. Like I felt like I was in a good place with good people. I felt happy, peaceful, safe. It felt good. Like after 1 minute, it felt good.
Showing up, the organization and you know, getting me from the airport over to the site was so smooth, really relieved a lot of my concerns. And as for the venue itself, the fact that it was removed from the city out was wonderful. And yeah, and then of course seeing all the guys was amazing.
How did the retreat impact your real life or your life since then?
I came back to Hamburg with a lot of calmness in my thoughts, and I'm more the person who overthinks stuff. I'm sometimes lying in bed and for hours and I can't fall asleep, and I came back really centered.
Yeah, trust on myself and the process and professional and personal that I was starting at the time. Another one I think is, and it's very important, and I have realized that I have changed a lot of that from that since last year, is that I just live for the present. I left the place like much more peaceful. I mean, feeling more peace inside me, you know, in our peace.
Clearly, there was a change after the retreat. Is that I tried to keep the move, the same emotions, the same way of doing things in my life, and I can now share more about myself, about what matters to me. So there was something long-lasting after that. What I felt right at the end of the retreat is still there somehow.
So you can, since then, you can be more yourself. You can be expressing more who you are.
Yeah, in a more constructive way as well. Like not exploding when I have too much emotion. Yeah, just stating things. I'm more in the ping pong reflection conversation about emotions with my friends and people around me, and less in the, well, come on, let's take a gun and fight that I could have been in the past. Wow. Building things, building relationships, building bridges.
For me, one of them was definitely community, right? And feeling, you know, connected. A big one. The other one was taking personal risks. I've continued to do that, but it started there. And that is serving me very well. And the last one was, I think it's the first time I ever focused on me and like rewarding me, or like my own needs, putting me first. That was, and that's another way of being that has continued since then. That was really the launch.
Wow. One of the biggest benefits was that Lisbon trip, because it was really great, probably the best we've ever had with the family. It was just 3 days, but it was just really, 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 really good. And I believed it had a lot to do with the retreat as well. Second is, in general, my relationship to my family improved.
What is your favorite moment from the retreat?
My favorite moment is probably the constellations. For me, something so so powerful, right? I mean, that for me there is magic around that moment.
I couldn't tell what was best because everything at that time had great moments. Like the starting the day with Greg and Breathworks was great. Then also the chats in between all the workshops that we had, just random talks were amazing. And then this writing down on a huge paper the life and what were the big points in the life was also great. And of course, family constellation was great. In my family there were a lot of changes in that time, and to have this picture and to see what is moving around was absolutely great. But as Rafa said, the night walk was amazing. So everything was really all had its time, and everything was in this combination great for me.
I had a very special run with Robin on one of the evenings. We had like around maybe 2 hours free time, something like that. So we decided to go to the seaside, to the beach, and we had an awesome run there, and had a great conversation as well. Of course, I went to the sea after it. It was a perfect side activity to the event for me.
Probably the most spiritually enjoyable was when we did the trust exercise. Yeah, I had some very interesting connection moments with some people. I will say the most enjoyable, well, I don't want to give away, or you can edit it out, I guess, right? Because some of the stuff was, part of the enjoyment was the surprises, right? That I don't think were even planned. The plunge in the pool, by far. At that point, I'm like, I would not have done that when I got there, and it seemed absolutely natural by the time we did it. Let me put it that way, right? But my most just overall enjoyment was the cocoa ceremony. That was a really special, having everyone in the same room and all of that was, I will always remember that.
What would you tell to people who are hesitating to signing up for the next retreat?
Potential clients might be tempted to compare with other offers of similar retreats and things between men. And I would say there's something in this retreat that they will not find elsewhere. It's so well organized, comfortable, sleeping in the tents. You're really pampered. If your body doesn't hurt, your brain is free to go wherever it pleases. There's a level of fulfillment of basic human needs, comfort, everything that you do not get in other such camps that are most often camps, not retreats. So there's definitely an added value in this specific retreat, in this specific setting. The program is not overcrowded, it's just perfect. It's what is needed to fill a day and leave space for thinking, leave space for talking to the others. You have, I think, the best formula for a successful retreat.
So if one is considering making an investment in themselves, then this thing is probably the best one out there that one can choose. It really pays off instantaneously, but also in the long run. It's really rewarding in every possible sense you can think. I should just say, just go. The environment is really remote, or it's not that remote. Like Barcelona is pretty close. Like you have this sense that like civilization is close. Also, you can just go to the sea in 10 minutes, but it's up on the hills. It's very close to the actual forest. It's the edge of the village, not really, or maybe even no houses around. And you really had this feeling of having the freedom to just do whatever you want, express whatever you need to, and just to be in this peaceful surroundings. This is really a plus, I would say. Food was really special to me. It was all vegan, right? It's
vegetarian.
Really nutritious and delicious combinations, plentiful, really nice tastes, and fat healthy as well, of course. Something I think I don't really do. So it was a really special thing to me. And of course, eating every course outdoors, overviewing the Mediterranean Sea, which is just wonderful.
End of October.
yeah, it's still
in t-shirts, most of you.
yeah.
I felt like all of the coaches, everyone was top of game. Like they were really, it was all top notch. Like they knew what they were doing. Again, speaks to the quality of the food and the people, right?
So did we fulfill your expectations, even if you didn't have any expectations, seemingly?
No, you've surpassed them greatly. You went way beyond anything I would have expected. You've gone places I didn't know were possible to go. And the energy of everybody was so powerful. And as I don't know which of you said something like this, but like, yeah, it was Adam saying that everybody was top notch. That was really the case.
Yeah, that's a tough one to beat. I just want to go.
Go for it, Adam. Go for it.
I just want to be like, ditto. I agree. Yeah. So the short answer is yes, it surpassed my expectations. I didn't really have any, which maybe is a statement of where we were at, that I showed up without expectations, so I was fully open. That's probably speaks to how comfortable I was showing up.
The approach that I had, it was like, okay, let's experience. Let's see what happens. You know, that's it's gonna be good for sure. You know, and so I would say also that it exceeded the expectations, even though there were no expectations. So if you have to rate it, it's 10 over 10.
Yes, of course. Of course, it did surpass all my expectations. The level of organization and the quality of the sessions and the feeling of community. It's and I could go on with the list. It's really not just the sum of these pieces, but it's really, there was a multiplicator effect into it.
I want to add one more thing, and this for people that are coming. Your passion and your genuine and desire for it to be successful and for us to be successful absolutely permeated the entire, like it was clearly your vision and your goal for that to be successful, and it was felt the whole time. I really, yeah, really very grateful for that.
Yeah,
That's true. You were
definitely.
120% of you on the purpose of the goals and the results of the retreat. Yeah, I agree on that. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And the wonderful team we have as well. I'm very grateful for them as well, because they have been also 120% definitely on the same mission, and they are continuing doing it with me, and we are growing together. We have all the takeaways from last year from you, and now we are just making this one just a little bit or even more better.